What's going down, everybody? It's your boy, That Guy My High, tuning back in for another reaction. This time we got the top 10 most haunted prisons in the world you should never visit. I mean, you shouldn't be going to prison and visiting prisons anyway, you know what I'm saying? I guess unless you got some peoples up in that mug, you know what I'm saying? Then you gotta go do due diligence. But other than that, stay out of prison. Before we jump into this video, man, let's give a big shout out to all the members of the channel. We got Carrie, Ryan, Nicole, Token Tug, Casey Girl, Aaron, Taylor, Mama Dukes, Misty Summers, Lynn Willow, Driver Thoughts, Matt Creeker, Lynn, Amy Jane Doe, Liz, Nugget, My Hood Life, and Gary Willis. Appreciate you guys for being members, man. And shout out to all the people who want to be members. And, you know, just when you have the time, go check out the join button. You got 3 different options, you know what I'm saying? $2.99, $4.99, and $9.99. Go see if one of those fit your fancy. If not, just continue to subscribe, hit the bell notification, because we're on our way to great things. And we need your help to do those great things, okay? This is a great conglomerate of people who, you know, then do great things together. Okay, yeah, I like that. That sounds real good. All right, anyway, let's jump in this video, man, and see what they talk about with these haunted prisons. Let's go.
From the Tower of London to West Virginia State Penitentiary, here are your top 10 most haunted prisons in the world you should never
all prisons probably
visit.
have some slight
In our number
problem.
10 spot, we of course have
Alcatraz. Fair enough.
Alcatraz is one of the world's most known prisons. It's a prison located off the coast of San Francisco, and when
isn't Alcatraz privately owned now, like, or for sale or some shit? Like, I don't know if somebody privately owns it now or currently, or if it's still owned by the government or whatever, but I'm pretty sure you can buy Alcatraz, and I think it's for sale.
was active, it was a federal prison. It became known as one of the hardest prisons in the United States, where only the worst prisoners were kept. Apparently, it was known for its poor living conditions, along with starvation and horrible, torturous punishments.
Sounds awful.
There were many killings, suicides, and so much violence that it's not a surprise that people believe it to be haunted. Specifically in a section of the prison called D Block, where a prisoner was complaining of an evil spirit in his cell, and the guards found him dead in the next morning. There are many ghost stories, even one where people have claimed to have seen Al Capone in the shower. Hopefully naked.
What?
Not because I'm a creep, but because the thought of a naked ghost in the shower is just funny to me. In our number 9 spot, we have the Kingston Penitentiary.
Okay.
In Kingston, Ontario, Canada, there is a former maximum security prison called the Kingston Penitentiary. I actually visited this prison when I was a kid, and I remember being terrified. It was so spooky from the outside. Anyway, Kingston Pen has a ton of stories told by people that have formerly worked there and people that have visited the prison. Stories such as feeling cold in strange places to experiencing gut feelings to leave where you are right now. There are stories and sightings of a ghost of an old staff member by the name of William Wentworth, who goes up and down the halls and locks the cell doors. He was killed by what is assumed to be a prisoner. However, his killer was never actually caught. He'll probably haunt the place until his killer is caught, because that's some major unfinished business. In our number 8 spot, we have the Maxwell Street Police Station. Known for being one of the
question is was he ever caught because, you know, they just couldn't figure out who did it, or did they not catch the killer because they just didn't care? I would put my money on the second option. I'm just saying.
Violent and brutal police stations. It is located in a neighborhood called Bloody Maxwell in Chicago. So if that doesn't say it all, then I don't know what to tell you. The city apparently was flooded with mobsters, and the police station was filled with corruption. The dungeon in the basement is where the paranormal rumors come from. It was known as a place for torture, and most criminals would never leave the station after going in there. People have reported the rattling of handcuffs on cell bars, as well as screams from past prisoners. It closed in 1997, and fun fact, the cast of Chicago PD get to hang out with the ghosts all the time as it is filmed there. In our number 7 spot, we have the Mansfield, Ohio Reformatory. The Mansfield, Ohio Reformatory was built between 1886 to 1910 and closed in 1990. So many of these prisons closed in 1990. There must have been a huge shift in the prison world in terms of how the prisoners were treated and whatnot at that time. Anyways, this prison is famous for being the inspiration behind the movie Shawshank Redemption, one of my mom's personal favorites, along with Schindler's List. she likes to cry. It is known for being haunted, and so I had to put it on this list. Witnesses have reported paranormal activity in the basement where the solitary confinement cells were. People have reported seeing ghosts, hearing screams and moans from the former prisoners, as well as the haunting of one of the warden's wives who was apparently fatally injured at the prison. In our number 6 spot, we have the Tower of London. Apparently, it is known to be one of the most haunted places in London. It was meant to be a safe place for the royal family at first, then became a dark, horrifying place for prisoners. There are apparently thousands of ghost sightings.
How do you go from being this like palace situation for like the highest powers of London to all of a sudden repurposing that shit for the lowest low of London, like the criminals and all the bad people? Like, how does that even work? Like, did you just build that shit too creepy and shit? And they're like, you know what? Fuck that. We don't want to live in this shit no more. This is a prison. Like, how do you go from one extreme to the next, bro? Like, that is wild.
And among them is Thomas A. Becket, who is believed to have caused problems with some of the construction with the tower. But apparently, Queen Anne Boleyn is one of the most spotted ghosts. Many have reported seeing a headless body walking through the tower corridors, which would make sense as the tower is close to the site where she was executed. This is wild. I really want to go there now. I want to see a headless ghost. It would be better if it was nearly headless, like, you know, Harry Potter's nearly headless Nick. But
she
whatever.
Is just too chippy and cheery.
In our number
these
5
ghost
spot, we have
shit,
Old Richmond Jail. Located in Tasmania, Australia, this isn't the most widely known jail, but it is definitely one of the scariest, it seems. This place was built around
like
1825, and it has a whipping yard, a cookhouse, solitary confinement cells, and basically anything you can imagine a scary prison would have. It has many, many ghost sightings and is believed to be heavily haunted. From sightings of a lady in a pink dress to ghost young ones to feeling cold shivers and hearing strange noises, there have been too many encounters to count. Best to stay away from touring this prison unless you love ghosts.
Damn, you see how small that cell was, bro? Look at that. She, like, you could touch both walls being short. Like, you ain't got to be the tallest of people or persons to sit there and be able to know that this is too small. This is a closet, legitimately a closet, bro, with a pot in it. You ain't even got a bed in this bitch. Like, what the fuck?
Encounters to count. Best to stay away from touring this prison unless you love ghosts, then never mind.
That's wild.
Proceed. In our number 4 spot, we have the Eastern State Penitentiary. This is a prison that operated as a sort of solitary confinement. It opened in 1829 and was active until 1971. It was meant to psychologically harm the prisoners with the noise being kept to a bare minimum. Many who misbehaved were tortured in various ways, including what was called the mad chair, where inmates were strapped to a chair so tightly that their circulation was cut off. So yeah, it's understandable that it is probs haunted. Many have reported hearing crying, screaming, whispers, and even footsteps around the prison. People have also reported seeing dark shadows, and even Al Capone once complained that he was haunted by a ghost named James Clark, who was a victim of the St. Valentine's Massacre.
I feel like out of all the prisons, like, all of them are gonna give you some sort of PTSD situation, some sort of psychological damage, but like, when that's like the whole point of the prison, like their whole point is to sit there and just like destroy you mentally. Oh yeah, that sounds terrible. That sounds like the worst one yet. Like that was the worst prison on this list so far, bro.
We have the old Geelong jail. It could be pronounced.
Why do they spell jail like that? G-A-O-L. Like what is the? I don't get it.
Geelong. I don't know. I tried looking it up. I think it's Geelong. We're going with it. Another Australian prison that is said to be pretty fierce. It was built between 1849 to 1864 and was open until 1991. In addition to being a jail, this place was also used by the Australian Army as a post-World War II detention center. It was also an industrial school for girls. So yeah, there is a mixed bag of ghosts at this place. Over 500 plus deaths occurred in this place. People have claimed that particular areas of the jail are haunted by a demon, as well as apparently an old guard haunts this place. In fact, there are reports of sightings in shock blocks, the walkways, the morgue, and even the kitchen. And it seems that perhaps it's more than one demon that haunts this place. Strange smells and violent attacks have been reported along with screams. Well, thank the Lord this place has closed up shop. I wouldn't wish a ghost haunting on even my worst enemy. In our number 2 spot, we have the San Lucas Prison. This is a prison that is located on the San Lucas Island, which is a Costa Rican island. Many prisoners who were sent there saw the death penalty. The prison is notoriously known for its extremely poor living conditions and torture methods. Apparently, about 60 men would be crammed into a cell at a time. There were cells underground used for solitary confinement, and get this, they were typically flooded with water and sewage. Just disgusting. Yeah, if I was a prisoner that was put in a room with sewage, you best believe I'm coming back to haunt every one of those horrible people that worked there that clearly should have been prisoners themselves.
Disgusting.
Did I mention the artwork on the walls that was made from human blood? Yeah, forgot that one. It's known to be haunted by a priest and a nurse that worked there, as well as obviously the former inmates.
Priest haunting these motherfuckers?
People continue to hear screaming, begging, and crying men till this day. In our number 1 spot, we have the West Virginia State Penitentiary. The prison is so haunted that they even offer ghost tours at this point. Well, might as well capitalize on it. I would. Apparently, they also offer escape room type events, and that sounds horrible to me. First off, it's a real prison, and second, this is a prison that is known for its ghosts. What fun! Let's pretend to be prisoners and escape a real cell and hang out with the ghosts for an hour.
Let's go sit there and try to escape a prison that is built to keep people in. So the whole escape room factor is just kind of like, it means nothing to me. And you want, man, fuck out of here, bro.
Nah, thanks, honey. Anyways, this prison is known for having the worst of the worst criminals and many executions. So many of the prisoners were killed by other prisoners, and what is suspected as by some of the guards as well. It is known as one of the most haunted prisons in the United States. Most of the ghost sightings comes from the North Hall, where the most dangerous criminals were kept, where people have reported shadows and footsteps. Apparently, also the Hole and the Sugar Shack underground have many reports of people feeling panic when down there and a paranoid feeling of being watched. I hope that's not where the escape rooms are. Well, that's my list for you today,
I don't
y'all.
give a damn,
Thanks so much
I
for
wouldn't go visit those escape rooms anyway. That's just me making my disclaimer right up front. You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing it. But y'all let me know what was the creepiest ones there. I still hands down think. But it's between that the what was it, Colombia or Costa Rica one or whatever in the jungle, that I think it was number 2, where that shit was just sounded just super uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like no personal space, 60 people to a cell type shit in those small ass rooms, bro, for 60 people. So that one sounded very unpleasant. But still, I think the one where they were like purposely trying to like mess with you mentally and you know what I'm saying? Like give you demons. Like that one sounded fucking wild to me. You know what I'm saying? Like sensory deprivation on like a full-time basis sounds terrible. It sounds awful, okay? But anyways, man, y'all let me know what y'all thought about that down in the comments below and we'll talk about it. Peace.